It is conference final weekend in the USL Championship, and it starts from Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. The Charleston Battery playing host to Rhode Island FC in the Eastern Conference Final with the former pro striker Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Josh Eastern. What a playoffs it has been so far in the USL Championship presented by Terminix. Last week, Charleston getting by the Tempe Rowdies by 2-1, while Rhode Island blanked Lou City by 3-0. The other game in the West is Colorado Springs and Las Vegas. For Rhode Island FC, their inaugural season in the USL Championship, it started all the way back in March without 1-1 draw against New Mexico, but just one win from their opening 14 games, just 12 points in that span. Then it was June 22nd, a 5-2 win over the Players' Shield winners in Louisville City. That has propelled them into the playoffs, where they have 2 wins so far on the road, and they're looking for a third. And the big reason why they've had so much success is because of their striker, J.J. Williams.
And he's just been massive for this Rhode Island side, full of confidence, and he's a massive part of why they are where they are. I do think for Conwell Smith, it's going to be a bit of a different role for J.J. Williams, because he's going to play next to Albert Dequo, but yet you want him getting on the end of things in around that 18-yard box. Over the course of this playoffs, we've seen him score every single type of goal in the book, whether it's with his left foot, whether with his right foot, and he's an aerial presence. He needs to be massive for Rhode Island here today.
Well, business has been booming for J.J. Williams, but it's also been booming for Charleston forward Nick Marcanic here in 2024. The Golden Boot winner, he's broken numerous records, including the single-season goal-scoring record in the USL Championship with 30 goals when you include the playoffs. And so far in the playoffs, he has 2 goals, and in his playoff career has 4 goals and 2 assists in 6 appearances. But the one team who has kept him quiet is his opponent tonight in Rhode Island FC. But 30 goals for Marcanic. It's been a special season.
Continues to step up and produce in big-time moments for this Charleston Battery side. So you lean on his experience, you lean on his leadership. He's going to start on the right-hand side, but do not be surprised if you see him come centrally. I do think for Ben Pierman, how quickly can he get up to tempo? Because he's shown he's a star.
It's the oldest team in the USL versus the newest team in the USL Championship, the Charleston Battery, Rhode Island FC. It's the Eastern Conference Final. It's coming up next.
Charleston is located in the Low Country of South Carolina.
The history here, it runs deep, and you can't imagine being anyplace else.
This place is magical.
Charleston and Rhode Island playing for the third time in 2024. The first matchup way earlier this season was a 0-0 draw in Rhode Island, but just a few weeks ago in mid-October, a 1-1 draw between the Battery and Rhode Island FC. It was a goal in the first half from Noah Fuson, and then MD Myers with the equalizer late on. Noah Fuson also had a penalty kick saved by Adam Grinwis late on in that game. Tonight's starting lineups are presented by Michelob Ultra. We start with the Charleston Battery, the same 4-2-3-1 tonight for Ben Pierman.
Purcell on the left-hand side, so Dos Santos and Graham Smith, how good can they be in terms of their compactness of keeping everything in front of them? I think the key for Charleston Battery is going to be Aaron Malloy. When he gets on the ball, now the players higher up the field can find those gaps. Conway will play high and occupy the two center backs. That middle three, Malloy, Chapman, and Rodriguez, need to be really good, because you look at Rhode Island, uncharacteristic four-back. You have Yal, Stoneman, Duggan, and Nodarse. They're going to stay narrow, and then you have that middle three. They're so congested and so compact in that structure. Holstead and Harewood, they're going to pop out and search the game, and Albert Decoy and JJ Williams. That relationship needs to be spot on for Connell Smith.
The big change tonight for Rhode Island, no Jojea Kwizera, who is on international duty with Rwanda, but those Rhode Island fans, they've come down from Rhode Island in the Northeast, and they are ready to cheer on their team tonight at Patriots Point. It is another sellout tonight here at Patriots Point, the second year running that the Battery are hosting the Eastern Conference Final. Our referee tonight is Kalin Radosov. He will have the whistle, and Rhode Island will get us underway tonight with the first kick of the ball. The first of two conference finals in the USL Championship. The Eastern Conference Final is underway. It's the Charleston Battery and Rhode Island FC. So much anticipation heading into this evening, and already a player down for the Charleston Battery. Two players down right off the get-go here. One of those players looks to be Aaron Malloy. Malloy scored the winning goal last week off a free kick, and now a stoppage here as Malloy is holding that right ankle.
Just seems to come down a bit awkward on it. Watch that right leg, the way that he lands, just gets caught underneath Albert Decoy. Talked about the goal that he scored. What a fantastic strike that was for Charleston Battery. Good to see him back on his own feet.
Malloy said it was probably the best goal that he's ever scored, and I mean, who could disagree with him on that one? What a great goal it was. Postage stamp type of goal right in the top right corner. And the Battery looking forward here early on. Arturo Rodriguez moves it out wide. It's an early ball towards goal, and over the head of Koke Vegas, who gets another start in goal tonight for Rhode Island.
It was interesting, Josh, when we saw the team sheet for Rhode Island come in, we looked at each other and say, are they going to go into a back four? They've actually shifted into a back three, so that back three is going to be Yal, Stoneman, and Nodarse. You have Noah Fuse on the golden playmaker playing this left-hand side. Craig Nodarse providing width on this near side, so Ibarra and Holstead will play centrally, and that's why you see the insertion of Albert Decoy playing next to JJ Williams on that top line.
Noah Fuson this year, 10 assists. That is why he was named the golden playmaker. What a season it has been for Fuson and this Rhode Island front line. They've really come to life over the last few weeks. They ended the regular season with that 8-goal outburst against Miami FC, then scoring 3 on the road at Indy and at Louisville. Last week, a 3-0 win. JJ Williams scoring 2, Albert Decoy adding the 3rd, and then preserving the clean sheet at the end of the day as well with another penalty kick save for Koke Vegas. Our injury report tonight, it is brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. Juan Sebastian Palma's been out all season long. Jojea Kwizera not injured, but he is out tonight because he is on international duty, which is the one change into the starting lineup. Another injury note, Leland Archer is on the bench tonight. He has not played in the playoffs yet. We'll see if he comes on at some point for defensive reinforcements. Talking with Ben Pierman about last week's win against Tampa Bay. He thought his team played really well, and they get the ball back here in a good spot, but give it away immediately. He said, we wanted to be brave with the ball, and he said the tendency when you go down is to panic and be urgent, but he said we went into halftime and I said we need to stay who we are. The goal is going to come. They forced numerous goal line clearances, a few saves out of Jordan Farr, and Ben Pierman was very pleased with how his team responded. And then he said he wasn't quite sure what was going to happen on that free kick with Aaron Malloy. He said, I guess I was happy it went in. He said, let's get the subs on and let's close this out. It's exactly what they did. A foul and a free kick. Rhode Island will have this set piece 4 minutes in.
Bit of a heavy touch here from Torres. I think he's caught between two minds, but that relationship yet again for Rhode Island, Dequan and JJ Williams. How good can they be at understanding the movements off one another? Because that was a point of conversation with Connell Smith earlier this week, saying they didn't really gel together as good as we would have hoped. Big opportunity here, Eastern Conference Final on the road. You want your big-time players to stand up in big-time moments. Good opportunity here for Rhode Island.
We have the two Golden Boot winners from last year and this year in this game, in Dequa and Marcanic. Ibarra, the in-swinging ball, head of the way as far as Zach Harivo. And now maybe a chance to run here for Charleston. The ball moved out wide. It was behind Jackson Conway. Aaron Malloy looking for that penetrating ball through the middle. Now Allen continuing his run forward. Chris Allen, the cross, back post! Looking for Jackson Conway. Not the contact he was looking for. And it goes back to Rhode Island.
This Charleston battery side can hurt you in so many different ways, whether it's playing through the runner play, but also transitional moments. Chris Allen, normally a center midfielder, playing at that left back position, so he's going to give you quality in terms of his service. Jackson Conway, just run through it. Probably a better angle to get and ask some questions of Koke Vegas. But 6 minutes in, you just see the tempo that this game is going to be played at. Fantastic start here.
Some could say it could be a wicked fast start for one of these teams.
And just notice that front line for Rhode Island between JJ Williams and Albert Deco. One of them is always going to stay with Aaron Malloy. You want to take the game away from the playmaker for Charleston Battery. So now for Jay Chapman, what does your movement look like to find those areas and to provide a little bit of support, especially when playing out of the back?
Here's Malloy, rolling it forward. The extra pass for Jackson Conway. Shot blocks. Karifa Yao in the middle. Now Chris Allen, sliding challenge by Clay Holstead, and out of play. Ben Pierman, his second season in charge. He has not lost a playoff game, but it was that USL Championship final that Charleston lost in penalties a year ago. Trying to get back to the final, and if they do, they would host it. Torres for Segbers. Charleston on the front foot to start tonight at home. Only lost one home game all season long. It was earlier this year, a loss against El Paso back in May. In the series between Charleston and Rhode Island, this is the rubber match. A 0-0 draw earlier this season in April in Rhode Island, and then just a few weeks ago in mid-October, a 1-1 draw. Husan and MD Myers scoring those goals on the night.
Or 8 minutes in, you just see how the Charleston Battery are looking to press this back line for Rhode Island. Whether it is Arturo Rodriguez, Juan David Torres, they're pressing from outside in. So they're trying to bait, whether it's Stoneman, Duggan, to play central. And that's when you have Aaron Malloy, Nick Marcanic, and Jay Chapman right on the backside of Harivo and Holstead.
That pass pass came off the back heel of Holstead, and now Charleston coming right through the middle. His shot bouncing well wide and out of play.
And yet again, if you're Connell Smith, you're telling your boys just to settle down into this game. No need to try to break through the press, gain some real estate higher up the field, and if your first look needs to be beyond that first line of pressure, get no Darcy, get no Fuson a little bit more involved, because they're going to provide the width and they're going to be an outlet to break through this pressure.
Last year in the Eastern Conference Final for Charleston, it only took them 5 minutes to get on the board. Remember, it was Arturo Rodriguez who scored a banger of a free kick to open the scoring. Monty Williams scored in the 58th minute and put that game pretty much out of reach for Louisville City on the night. And it was Charleston then moving on to the final. Challenge put in, out of play. Karifa Yao with the sliding challenge. Out of play again. That was last off Chris Allen, but the pressure has been ramping up here early.
5 for Charleston batter. You just see that back line of 4 underneath Jackson Conway. So the area to operate in is going to be right here for Goke Vegas. Fantastic pass from the goalkeeper.
This ball bounces in. An easy take for Adam Grinwis, his first touch tonight.
So I just mentioned looking on beyond that first line of pressure, exactly how Verdico needs to be. Frank Nodarste providing the width on this near side. That's a way that you can break through this high pressure of Charleston Battery.
Charleston trying to keep it the highest average possession in the USL Championship this regular season at 59%. They like to keep the ball. Connell Smith said, we know they're going to want to keep the ball, and they're not going to change how they play. He said, we have to find the areas and the spaces that we can best exploit with this Charleston side. Switch of play, looking for Chris Allen. Allen who played midfield most of this season, but is filled in at left back because of the injury to Leland Archer. It's moved Nate Dos Santos into a center back role next to Graham Smith, the first team all USL Championship center back. Torres trying to turn the corner, and he couldn't get the return ball. Sekber's taken off, but Charleston able to keep it.
You saw it often against Lou City as well for Rhode Island. Now you have your 2 front men, whether J.J. Williams or Albert Dico pops in a little bit deeper, and then you have that line of 3 underneath. Really compact. Connell Smith wants this Charleston battery set to go around them, never through them. 12 minutes in, you just see how tight the lines are for the visiting side.
Ball floated forward off the free kick. Second ball knocked down. Fuson able to get this one out. Looking for that direct ball over the top for Williams to chase after. Now here's Grinwis. Rhode Island would be the first-year team to win the USL Championship if they can get into the final. Since Sacramento in 2014. They've done this season is already spectacular, especially from where they started. We showed you in the Open just 1 win from their opening 14 games, but it was that game against Louisville City that really flipped the script for this Rhode Island side. Connell Smith talked about it took a little bit of time for the goal scoring to come around. This is a team, though, that drew 15 games So there were 15 games that were hanging right there in the balance. And I guess it's good that they didn't drop points in those games, but maybe you want to turn a few of those draws into wins. Yet the 15 points gets them into the 5th spot in the East, gets them into the playoffs, and they've been road warriors. As Conno Smith said, we were kind of built up better to be a road team anyway. Stoneman, another long throw, looking for Williams. Dequa went down, it's a foul. Free kick, Rhode Island.
The physical partnership of J.J. Williams and Albert Dequa, two players that are very clever with using their body and playing off of one another. Nate DeSanto comes in a little bit late. Albert Dequa makes the most of it. Foul or not, the result is Marky Barr stands over it. Quality service, you're aiming for right on top of that 6-yard box to put this man under some pressure.
Barr and Williams talking things over.
Also be aware of that 3 right on top of that 18-yard box. So the second ball's gonna play a factor here.
Ibarra delivers, back post, heads up, goal kick.
The Darce 6 goals on the season, always an aerial threat. Jackson Conway does just enough to throw him off. But they just have so much size, this Rhode Island side, so box defending, top priority for Charleston Battery.
Rolled through the middle and turned over. Dug in. Now Harivo chasing this one down. Foot race with Segbers. Dribbling to that touch line, and Rhode Island keeps it in play. Another cross fired in, looking for J.J. Williams, trying to just nod it into the middle. Loose ball picked up by Conway. Now Charleston looking for a way out. So calm over the top there by Nick Marcanic. The Battery able to keep possession. Pressure in the middle, it's a foul. Battery matches are the perfect place to make lifelong memories with your friends and family. Your group of 10 or more can enjoy discounted tickets, exclusive on-field experiences, and private hospitality areas to catch the match. Visit charlestonbattery.com to learn more and plan a memorable night at Patriots Point.
And over the course of the first 17 minutes, Arturo Rodriguez, time after time, has popped off to the wide areas of the field. Nick Marcanic is actually playing as that number 10 role. So you lose a little bit of that pocket presence that Arturo gives you. And that also opens up a clear passing lane into Jackson Conway, like we just saw. Needs to be really good at holding up play and letting support around him come underneath.
Quick give and go down the line, Torres. Torres from distance. Well, he's found himself in these last few weeks. What a season it's been. 7 goals, 6 assists for the Colombian, his first season in the United States.
Just plays with a little bit of swag, but I love the way that he plays his ball into Nick Marcanic and continues his run. Now, if Fuson gets caught ball watching, and have you seen him play, like you said, Josh, over the last couple weeks, full of confidence, pulls up from anywhere in the attacking third, just misses wide.
Long throw, flicked in fields. Second ball. Charleston looking for a way out through that Rhode Island pressure. Rhode Island nearly get it back, but Charleston do just enough. Here's Chris Allen. It's a foul and a free kick going Charleston's way. Just too much pressure there by Frank Nodarse.
Nice little matchup that we have here between Archer Rodriguez and Frank Nodarse. A little bit overzealous. You have your job done. He's playing negative. Move your feet. Get back into your defensive structure. No need to be overzealous.
Segbers trying to roll it forward. Segbers again. And Haribo wins it back. Dikwa looking for some width. Haribo just able to keep it in play. Now JJ Williams. So good at finding the space. Dikwa's making the run over the top. Albert Dikwa just wide. Rhode Island in transition and Dikwa on the doorstep.
Just notice how narrow Charleston battery is. That's Graham Smith, that initial pressure. He steps up, so that leaves a massive hole going back the other way. Now you have two options to play into if you are Connor Smith. JJ Williams drops in, be parts of the build-out phase, so that gives Albert Dikwa the ability to stretch this back line. Clever from the reigning MVP, tries to go back across his body, and wrong foot, Greenwitz just pulls it wide. But good action from the visiting side here.
Rhode Island team that ended up finishing third in the league in goals, and I think a lot of that had to do with the 8 goals that they scored, as we mentioned, last week of the season against Miami. But they had really turned a corner in that goal-scoring area, and Cano Smith said that was the last thing that really came around with this team. Albert Dikwa battled some injuries this year, yet he still scored 11 goals. Challenge out of play, and a throw-in going Rhode Island's direction. Rhode Island trying to become the 3rd side to reach the USL Championship final in their inaugural season. Sacramento back in 2014 did that and ended up winning, and it was Sporting Kansas City 2 in 2016 that also qualified in their first season, where they lost out to the Baby Bulls, the New York Red Bulls 2 that year. Go look at that roster if you have a few minutes. You go down a Google rabbit hole. That was one heck of a team. Cano Smith trying to get this team into the USL Championship final next week. Moved out wide again. Noah Fuson coming forward. The cross as it's cut back for Dikwa. It's laid off. Nodarse pops it up. Rhode Island trying to win the second ball, which they do in Ibarra. Ibarra working in tight space. Haribo. Another cross bouncing in, looking for a flick. Instead, it runs out of play.
JJ Williams is just so active in and around that 18-yard box. Nate Dos Santos does a really nice job at staying like for like with the Manners full of confidence. Really do like what we've seen from Rhode Island, changing the point of attack. There's a little bit of a tug, but not much in that to point the 12 yards out. You start to see Rhode Island start to figure things out with Noah Fuson on that weak side being an outlet more times often than not.
No surprise to see Charleston in possession and having quite a bit of it in the opening quarter of this game, or at least of regulation. too much pressure there by Noah Fuson, and a free kick to Charleston. They get it rolling again quickly. Malloy doing well to get out of trouble. USL Championship first team player Aaron Malloy. Long ball down the line. Back for Koke Vegas and his clearance. Charleston with 3 best 11 players this season. Malloy, Marcanic, and Graham Smith. Noah Fuson getting named to the 2nd team in the USL Championship. Malloy's header keeps the possession alive. Arturo Rodriguez. Now Juan David Torres. Torres taken by Koke Vegas.
I think he makes the wrong decision on David Torres. You have Jay Chapman just waiting for this cut back about 18 yards out. Marky Barra, Carabone, Clay Holstead having a really difficult time understanding who's going to step in and apply some pressure to Aaron Malloy and Jay Chapman. And the other two need to drop off and provide some security blanket in front of your back 3.
Marcanic wins a throw-in for the Battery. So far in this game, 6 shots for Charleston, just 2 for Cano Smith's Rhode Island. We've seen with Rhode Island, this is a team that doesn't need a lot of opportunities to find goals. Battle for it right on the edge of the area. And out of play for a Rhode Island throw. Grant Stoneman coming over from San Diego Loyal for 100 appearances with San Diego, linking up here with Rhode Island in their first season. Haribo, and moved out wide. Here comes Noah Fuson for Rhode Island. Fuson cuts it in, looking for the shot. It was blocked immediately. Now another chance from distance, also blocked in front. No Darce. Holstead. Low to the near side. No Darce. First time ball in. It was too tall for Dequa. Williams trying to keep it alive. Haribo as well. Morris Duggan lofts it into the corner. Fuson goes to chase it. And a throw into Rhode Island. Long throw, looking for the flick. Charleston looking in transition again. Conway. Deflected out of play. With as much possession as Charleston gets, it's those moments in transition that they've been maybe at their most dangerous tonight.
Just about to say the nice little step here from Duggan, because you have Arturo Rodriguez making a fantastic run on that far end. Do think that is why Ben Pierman elected to go with Jackson Conway, because he has the ability to bring players into this game. Be part of the hold-up play, and now you have the movement, whether it's underneath him, from Nick Marcanic. Arturo Rodriguez running in beyond him. It's a hard challenge from Grant Stillman.
Now free kick for the Battery. Malloy, and here's Segbers. And Segbers is fouled. Gonna move it down the line again. Nothing doing for the Battery. As expected, this has been a tight matchup and a foul on the far side. Segbers was the one who went down. An immediate conversation there with the referee.
And rightly so. Black Arrow does not touch Mark Segbers here. He just loses his footing. Segbers is already going down right there. No foul whatsoever. You see Connell Smith giving our fourth official an earful, and rightly so. Charleston Battery get away with one here. So you have Albert Deco peeling off. You have JJ Williams on the ball as well. What a crucial moment that could have been.
And you saw the reaction from Connell Smith as well. For those lip readers. Floated forward. And it's a foul that will go back to Rhode Island.
Yet again, we see that line of four underneath Jackson Conway. So this ball is going to be on all evening. How can you execute and continue to go down this near side at a very fast pace? Because there's real estate to operate. It just needs to be a little bit cleaner from Rhode Island.
Foul, and Arturo Rodriguez holding his head, which is the reason for the whistle. Rhode Island saying it's a playoff game. It's supposed to be physical. There's supposed to be challenges put in. And in a season series in which there has been nothing to split these two sides, a 0-0 draw and a 1-1 draw, we knew it was going to be tight. There's Koke Vegas sliding in. What's so enticing from an attacking standpoint is Williams is fouled. You have JJ Williams, who has scored 5 goals in these playoffs. You have Nick Marcanic, who scored 30 goals this season. Albert Dequa, last year's Golden Boot winner. A lot of attacking players in this game tonight.
Just watch the left arm of Graham Smith, the way that he comes across and catches JJ Williams right there. Connell Smith asking, how is he not on the yellow card? Because when you have your arm that high, extended away from your body, to see how physical it's been through the first 33 minutes here. Khalil Radosov has let these boys play, so now you're just asking for consistency through the course of this match.
Rolled forward, laid off, and Clay Holstead sends that well out of play. Trying for something off the training ground there.
And it's executed quite well from Rhode Island. Everyone thinks this ball's going to be lofted in. Holstead just runs through it, leaning back the whole way, and catches Arturo Rodriguez.
Somebody else got ran through as well.
No ill will, just have his eyes on the ball and runs through the Charleston Battery player. That feel nice.
Don't forget, later on tonight, it's the Western Conference Final. Colorado Springs Switchbacks hosting Las Vegas Lights. Another series that also finished in the regular season with both games being draws. Two really enticing matchups. That game gets started at 9 o'clock Eastern on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network. And then next week, it all comes to a close. The championship final will be on CBS at noon Eastern time. If Charleston wins, they host. Rhode Island wins, they're headed west. Long throw from Holstead. Puts it right in front, the header looping back post, nodded away by Grinwis. And it was last off a Rhode Island player and out for a goal kick as Albert Dikwa ends up in the goal. Segber's down as well.
Talked about the option of JJ Williams. He just goes up and wins his individual duel, tries to flick it on, but this is some save from Grinwis, because you have to be able to read the flight of the ball, be aware of your far post, and especially with the two players coming on, you know there's going to be contact. Big bear call to push it out of the way. Fantastic bit of goalkeeping from the Charleston Battery goalkeeper.
Grinwis in his first season with Charleston was last with Orlando. In the aftermath of both Hurricanes Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources they need to recover. Too far out of Nick Marcanic. His reach, Connor Smithson coming in, said when they have the ball, them being Charleston, we need to limit their most influential players. Not sure we've said Nick Marcanic's name much, if at all, tonight.
Just about to say, Josh, over the course of this first half, yes, Charleston Battery probably dominating the possession category, but it seems to be Rhode Island more threatening, asking more questions of their back line, putting Grinwis under some pressure. So if you're Connell Smith, you have to be pleased with how your boys have approached this game. Started off a little bit shaky with understanding the way that Charleston was going to press, the areas that you can really break through their high pressure. Since you start to figure that out, it's been mostly one-way traffic for Rhode Island.
Header out of play by JJ Williams. There's Dos Santos and Allen out of play. USL postseason action concludes Saturday, November 23rd on the CBS television network with the USL Championship final. The last two remaining teams battle it out at noon Eastern for the 2024 championship title. Go to uslchampionship.com for all the latest playoff information. I mentioned the Western Conference final coming up in about an hour and a half in Colorado Springs as the Switchbacks take on Las Vegas Lights. Expect that one to be a tight matchup. This one has been a tight matchup as well. Another foul in the middle. Juan David Torres going down. Morris Duggan One of the loanees coming in from an MLS side, Minnesota United, committing that foul. Rhode Island has brought the physicality with them from the New England area. That pass off the mark and straight out for a corner kick for the Charleston Battery.
It's also the first time that we've seen a Charleston Battery player make a direct run and test the shape of this Rhode Island back line. Nick Marcanic starts centrally. Now he's asking Grant Stillman to make a play on this ball. A bit of confusion between Holstead and Ibarra. We've all seen how important set pieces are, especially in a game of this magnitude.
Corner kick brought to you by the Pepper Law Firm, the official legal services partner of the Charleston Battery. Have to put the ball in that painted corner. It's touched in field. Torres, now Malloy. Aaron Malloy being hounded by Holstead. Back out wide for Torres. His delivery, back post. It's into side netting. From a certain angle, it looked like the net was rippling.
Clever from Aaron Malloy. Just notice as he continues his movement, little peek over his left shoulder. Mark Ibarra, Clay Holstead both come with him. So that leaves Juan David Torres in acres of space. Nick Marcanic gets a player that you want it to fall to. Least preferred right foot, unable to get it inside of that far post.
Foul here. It was right in front of the Charleston bench, and everybody was up immediately.
There's been some questionable calls from our center referee, Kalin Radosov. This first touch, but Frank Nodarse right here gets away with him, and that's a clean challenge. Nick Marcanic gets all the ball. Notice how the ball goes back across where it came from because he makes clean contact on it.
Well, it's one each way, right?
Consistency, right?
There you go. That's a way to put it. About 5 minutes to go until halftime. Rhode Island now with an attacking set piece. Good targets in the box. Frank Nodarse, Karifa Yao, the center backs have come forward as Ibarra sends it in. Header away. Rhode Island will keep it on the second ball. Fuson delivers, header back in front. Charleston get it away. Ibarra again for Rhode Island. The header is touched over the bar by Adam Grinwis, taking no chances, and a corner kick for Rhode Island.
Just so many options for Rhode Island in an aerial threat. Just watch the way that Frank Nodarse snaps his head and gets his shoulder squared. No nonsense from Adam Grinwis, punches it up and over his crossbar.
The in-swinging ball towards the 6-yard box, batted away. Ibarra delivers again. Now it's Stoneman to drive it across. Adam Grinwis with a big stop.
The second big-time save from Grinwis. Just notice the traffic. He sees it late. Alberdigua slashes across him in the last second. JJ Williams gets on the end of it. Reactionary.
Long throw in, flicked in front, it's in! Rhode Island score! Rhode Island off the long throw, and they lead in Charleston.
When you have so many options that can go and win the initial ball, second balls become that much more important. Who wants it more? Who's going to react quicker? The traveling support loves it. Long throw from Clay Holstead. Yao wins the initial one, and it's Hervo gets the wrong side of Nate Dos Santos. Just simply redirects it. No chance for Matty Grinwis. Get it on target, you give yourself a chance. Cheeky wink from Connell Smith, because they take the lead deep into this first half.
Zach Hervo, 5th goal of this season. Player who came over from the Tampa Bay Rowdies on July 3rd, has played with Birmingham, San Antonio, and the New England setup as well with the Revolution. The time with Birmingham was spent under Connell Smith. He has really enjoyed what Hervo has given him on the field this season, and he'll really enjoy what he's given him on the field tonight.
Josh, you have to think over the last 10 to 15 minutes, it was countless amount of pressure from Rhode Island, whether it was corner kicks, long throw-ins, balls being pumped into dangerous areas. And they won every initial ball. This time, Zach Hervo, really clever, comes off the blind side of Nate Dos Santos. He never sees him. He gets caught flat-footed. And that's the difference, the fine margins when you're talking about a game where a trophy's on the line in a spot in the USL Championship. So now, what does the reaction look like for Charleston Battery? You did it last week against the Rowdies. Can you do it again?
Charleston had been here before, as you mentioned, and as Ben Pierman said last week, said we can't get too panicked, said we have to be who we are. Some pressure here. Grinwis just gets it away. A team that has scored so many goals this year, has had so much success at home. I feel like it's coming, and they did come from behind earlier this year against Rhode Island as well. That has to give them confidence.
I think the way that you do it is now you have to find areas between the lines of Rhode Island. Off the shoulder, Vivara, Hervo, and Holstead. Arturo Rodriguez, Nate Marcanic need to be a little bit more influential in the spaces that they pick up. On our conversation, just like this, that's the area that you need to get involved in. Our conversation with Ben Pierman, he said if you find us having success, it's going to be changing the point of attack, creating overloads with our outside backs. How many times have we seen Mark Segbers get in the attacking third? Not very often. You can say the same for Chris Allen here.
Chance to shoot from distance. It's wrong side of the post, and we're almost through a minute of the minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time, which is brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. Charleston are exactly 500, 5-5-4 when they concede that opening goal in the USL Championship play this year. Rhode Island, they've gotten out in front in games. They've scored 29 first half goals. Only Louisville City scored more this year in the USL Championship. They had 38. As this comes towards goal, an easy catch for Adam Grinwis. Foul here. Kalin Radosov will give a yellow card to tonight's goal scorer, Zach Hervo. Rhode Island looking to close the half strong. That's another challenge put in, a free kick to Charleston.
Just notice once this back line for Charleston Battery get on the ball, there's a bit of a disconnect. No one that plays in between the lines, so now you only have one option. You have to play direct, you have to play down the same channel. That plays into the hands of Duggan and Grant Stoneman. If you're Connell Smith, you have to continue what you're doing, and if you can get that second off of set pieces, you're gonna set yourself up for a lot of success for Ben Pierman. I do think you need to bring someone else in, maybe a pocket player. MD Myers next to Jackson Conway, pin back those center backs. Big halftime talk for the home team coach.
In their inaugural season, Rhode Island FC continuing to make history, and tonight they lead on the road in this Eastern Conference Final. A lot for Ben Pierman and the Charleston Battery to ponder. At the break, it's Charleston 0, it's Rhode Island 1. Stay with us for halftime.
Innovation means training tomorrow's leaders in the latest technologies, because we know the next idea to change the future of medicine may well come from them. At the Medical University of South Carolina, innovation is who we are.
Hola.
¿Alguna otra cerveza?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Ok, ahora vuelvo.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they've always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
Innovation means developing novel therapies for patients today and taking the first steps toward life-changing discoveries decades in the future. At the Medical University of South Carolina, innovation is who we are.
When you know that you're finally home, and that long stretch of road falls behind that line. Won't stop, don't stop, believe and tell me what you want, I want you see it. 'Cause right here, right now, you can be anybody.
Halftime from Patriots Point in Charleston, and it's Rhode Island FC that have the lead at the break by a goal to nil. The USL postseason action concludes Saturday, November 23rd on the CBS television network with the USL Championship final. The last two remaining teams will battle it out at noon Eastern for the 2024 championship title. Go to uslchampionship.com for all the latest playoff information. News and notes from around the USL Championship. We'll get to the all-league teams here in just a minute. The big news, though, the coaching's change at Tulsa. It is former Blue City striker Luke Spencer who will step in.
He's had success in this league, so now how can he translate that into his team? Mario Sanchez did a fantastic job as the interim head coach. He pushes up into the technical director role, so now really interesting for FC Tulsa. Massive offseason for them.
And Sacramento Republic, the City Council unanimously approving the term sheet to develop that soccer-specific stadium, which will look fantastic in the capital. The teams of the year will start with the USL Championship All-League first team. What sticks out to you?
I think you look at Maxi Rodriguez. How good has he been for Detroit City? He's finally getting the recognition that I think he deserves. Davila was almost unplayable. Him and Aaron Malloy, I think they were the best center midfielders in all of USL Championship. And Wilson Harris, Nick Marcanic, what a duo that is. Jack Kerr, Graham Smith, everyone deserving.
Eric Dick, the Golden Glove winner as well. The second team, Noah Fuson, the Golden Playmaker, and then it's that Rowdy's duo up top.
And how good has JC and Gondo been for Las Vegas? Big part of why they are where they are, playing for the Western Conference. Ezra Armstrong, the North NCFC player, he was a workhorse on the wide parts of the field. Fantastic season for him as well.
Halftime in this Eastern Conference final. Rhode Island trying to hold on for 45 more minutes and book their spot in the championship final. We'll have more halftime after this.
Charleston, it is time. The regular season is behind us, and now we enter the playoffs with one goal in mind: victory. The slate is clean, but the mission is clear. We're here to win. These are the games you dream of. These are the moments you've worked hard for. Through every challenge, every triumph. Now, nothing else matters. This is it. There are no second chances, no room for error. It's everything or nothing. When the stakes are the highest, when everything is on the line, it is you who will make the difference. Your voice, your passion, your energy. You are the 12th man. Bring the energy, bring the noise, bring your heart. This is our journey, our battle together. A chance to bring the trophy home, to carve out another star into Charleston's story. It's time to rally for the club, for our community, for the city, in the fight for the 5th star.
Yeah. Get it. Get it. Should've got a dog.
When mice show up, so do we. Terminix it.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Allen across. Marcanic scores! You knew the battery would not go quiet. Rhode Island FC will compete for the Eastern Conference Championship. But he finds a teammate and it's an equalizer. What a goal for the Switchbacks. Valentine Noel, jackpot! Las Vegas advanced to their Western Conference final.
Mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. You're more than a superstar.
Halftime from Charleston. Rhode Island leading this Eastern Conference final by a 1-0. Still one more game to come tonight. It's the Western Conference final out west. The Switchbacks of Colorado Springs, the Lights of Las Vegas. And just like it is in our game tonight, the series, 2 draws this year.
You and I had the ability to sit down with a lot of the front office of the Switchbacks, and they just talk about the quality of Zach Zandy. So underrated in the USL Championship, and he was a massive difference in their game against Orange County. But what about Las Vegas Lights? What Dennis Sanchez has been able to do to go into the lab. Corey Bennett has been sometimes fantastic in terms of his development over the course of 2024, and they stun top seed New Mexico. What a final that is in the Western Conference.
It's all leading to the final on CBS next Saturday at noon Eastern. Plenty of chaos in these playoffs so far. Both 1 seeds going out in the last rounds. Charleston trying to make it back to the final for a 2nd straight season. We are at halftime from Patriots Point. Just 45 more minutes to go, or will we need more? The Battery need a comeback. Rhode Island's trying to book their spot in the championship final. The second half is next.
When we took this job, we knew that the future was the EX90.
A lot of people are excited about it.
We're really happy to see the EX90 on the line.
I'm Tamara Thompson and Rachel Gillum.
My name is Eric Brown.
And the Volvo EX90 was made by us.
is for the way you look. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give.
Return to the field. Score the winning shot. Beat your personal record. Team up with MUSC Health Sports Medicine for all your sports-related injury care and rehabilitation. MUSC Health is the official sports medicine provider for your favorite local teams. From semi-pro athletes to weekend warriors, our sports medicine team provides state-of-the-art injury prevention, treatment, surgery, and rehabilitation for athletes of all ages. Go where the pros go. Schedule an appointment today.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they've always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
When we took this job, we knew that the future was the EX90.
A lot of people are excited about it.
We're really happy to see the EX90 on the line.
I'm Tamara Thompson and Rachel Gillum.
My name is Eric Brown.
And the Volvo EX90 was made by us.
Gearing up for the second 45 minutes of action tonight from Charleston and Patriots Point. Rhode Island leading the Eastern Conference Final by 1-0. The highlights from the first 45 minutes of action. It was a tight encounter, a lot of fouls in this first half, but it was eventually Rhode Island who would break through. Early on, though, Charleston tried to get it going.
Juan David Torres was the best player for Charleston Battery. Starts on the right-hand side, but he's left-footed, so he always wants to come in centrally to look to combine, but also to pull the trigger. You see the quality from about 35 yards out. Pulls it wide, no really chance for Coque Vegas. But then Rhode Island started to find their footing, and they found the most success when they started on one side of the field with wingbacks, and now you allow your attacking players to go and express themselves and stretch this back line. Really clever from Albert Dequa. Everyone thinks he's going to continue with his momentum, close up his hips, tries to wrong foot Brindwis, and just pulls it wide.
35th minute. And it was getting a little bit closer for Rhode Island. They built into this game.
Just so dangerous on set pieces, but this is some save from Brindis. Brave goalkeeping because he has to have the ability to read the flight, but also the traffic oncoming of Nodarse, and Yao parries it away. And we talk about set pieces for Rhode Island, so many options that they can go into. But notice Zach Harivo, bottom of your screen, Harifa Yao, initial challenges, he's offside. Right there. He's about a yard off of Nate Dos Santos. He never sees him. He's beyond any Charleston player. The referee misses it, and it stands as a goal. Won't mind for Rhode Island. He gets right on top of that goal line, helps it in. Rhode Island 1, Charleston Battery 0.
Rhode Island will absolutely take it. The stats at halftime are presented by Heineken. More of the opportunities going the way of Rhode Island. Charleston's going to have to make some changes.
I think Charleston, they started the game extremely well and really effective with their high pressure. Will not be surprised if we see Ben Pearman dip it to his bench and bring players on. You need a pocket presence. You need to pin back those center backs because they were really aggressive, stepping into that line of Duggan and Stoneman. I think that was where this game is won and lost. And then you let your players have the field be those game changers for Connell Smith. So big 45 for Charleston Battery. How quickly can they get in a rhythm for Ben Pearman and his home side?
Back here for the second 45 minutes of action at Patriots Point with the former pro striker Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Josh Eastern. The two subs at the break for the Charleston Battery, Emilio Acaza and MD Myers entering. Jackson Conway and Jay Chapman exiting. There was some interesting alterations here by Ben Pearman as we get set for this second half. MD Myers and Nick Marcanic formed the most formidable attacking duo in terms of goal scoring ever in the USL Championship this year. In the regular season, they combined for 42 goals. That broke the record by Adam John and Solomon Asante in Phoenix Rising in 2019. And here is Nick Markanek. Trying to weave through. The ball ends up in the hands of Koke Vegas. Emilio Akaza entering for Jay Chapman. Akaza, he's played quite a bit this season. He was the starter for most of the year. Some injuries, some changes in the middle. He's been coming off the bench more recently, and now he'll get this full 45 minutes in the second half. Deflection out of play, and it's been so interesting looking at this Charleston lineup at how Ben Pierman has constructed it with the injury to Leland Archer. That is kind of the domino effect that has changed things in the middle, because it's moved Chris Allen, who pretty much played next to Aaron Malloy all season long. It's moved him out to left back, and now he's staying at left back when you're making changes in the middle. As this cross comes in, nothing doing. Malloy able to get it out. You do have on the bench, though, or you did at least last week, Josh Drack. He's not on the bench tonight. Robbie Crawford, he's played at left back at times, but Ben Pierman's been pretty stout that he's going to keep Chris Allen at left back.
Take it a step further as well. Nathan Santos slots in essentially as that center back pairing, which was Leland Archer and Graham Smith. So now you lose a little bit of that physicality. So now what does Ikaza look like? He's going to be a little bit more box to box. You want Aaron Malloy to stay more at home and to pull the strings. They just haven't seemed to get in any sort of rhythm, this Charleston Battery side. I won't be surprised if we see them play a little bit more direct into MD Myers and see how good he can be in his hold-up play and gain some real estate away from your defending goal.
Long throw, chested down. Arturo Rodriguez trying to help this away. Markanek. Now Akaza. Akaza coming forward. Rolling it ahead, looking for Arturo Rodriguez. Akaza uses his body to keep possession, and he finds Mark Segbers. Segbers, it was a bobbling ball. He couldn't control it. And Rhode Island now looks back the other way with J.J. Williams floating it into space with tonight's goal scorer, Zach Harivo. And he couldn't come away with it. Nato Santos keeps it.
Really well done from Nato Santos to cut down the angle, because if he gets it wrong, it's a 1v1 for Zach Harivo and Adam Grinwis. Yet again, we've seen Nick Markanek starting a little bit centrally underneath MD Myers.
Out of the long, looking for MD Myers. Second ball picked up by Malloy. Markanek couldn't keep it. Williams pulled down. Some pushing and shoving. Akaza just onto the field. More tension.
From Colleen Radosav's point of view, it does seem like Ikaza pulls down J.J. Williams through that right arm. That's a foul. And then notice how he keeps his right arm still hugged across the striker, not letting him step up. J.J. Williams does not take kindly to it.
Rolled down the line. Cross blocked, out of play, throw-in coming for Rhode Island. Another long throw by Holstead. Couldn't get it by the first man, and they'll do it again. It's another long throw, looking for the initial flick, headed away again. Holstead lofts it forward. No, Darcy nods it in front. There's a whistle, and it's no goal. Deekwa scored it, but the whistle came first. So close there for Rhode Island. Another foul in the middle. And back to the whistle that maybe prevented a Rhode Island goal.
My initial thought, it was a clean challenge from Frank Darcy. And yet again, Josh, it's second balls that's been causing some issues for Charleston Battery. Notice how he just pops up. He does come over the back, but there's no real extension of his arm. Just towers over MD Myers. That's what gets him in trouble, but I think that is harsh.
Could we be looking back at that moment, because Deekwa scored? A foul will go against Charleston. Nick Marcanic just bumped the referee, and Nick Marcanic's name now into the book.
Donald Smith arguing, allowed to touch the referee in any sort of fashion. There is a little bit of a pull from Ibarra that Nick Marcanic gets frustrated with.
All of a sudden, this game is heated up just a little bit more than it did in the first half. Here's Holstead leading the break. Noah Fuson, most assists in the championship this year, but how about a goal? Noah Fuson has given Rhode Island a 2-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Final.
We talked about the importance of the wingbacks. They're expansive. Quizair is out, so Noah Fuson slots off. Golden playmaker has the ability to go 1v1. Terrific work from Clay Holstead to elude not one but two players. But Noah Fuson sets up Mark Segbers. At some point, you have to close down the space. You cannot afford Noah Fuson to dictate where you go. You're inside your defending 18-yard box. You do not step up. And you talk about quality from the Rhode Island player. Head down, laces through this ball. He just roofs it. No chance for Grinwis to react quick enough. Traveling support loves it. They double their lead 8 minutes after coming out of the break.
They're going crazy up there in the top corner, and I'm sure they're going crazy at the watch party as well at the Guild. What a game this has been so far for Rhode Island. A 2-0 advantage. Noah Fuson has now scored 2 goals this year in 3 games against Charleston. Both of those goals coming here at Patriots Point. And now it's an even bigger hill to climb for the Charleston Battery if they want to host the USL Championship final for a 2nd straight season. Charleston, Ben Pierman, they made those changes at the break. MD Myers and Emilio Akaza coming on. Those are pretty much their 2 biggest attacking players that they can insert. Prince Sadie still available on the bench, Robbie Crawford as well. Right now, Charleston, they got to turn to their playmakers, Nick Marcanic and MD Myers, Juan David Torres. Those are the guys that got them here.
Just seems like that front 4 for Charleston Battery are all occupying that same space, and they all want the ball to their feet. How many times have we seen someone break a line with their movement? So that just plays into the hands of this back line for Rhode Island because they're just stepping up. They're just moving left. They're just shifting right. No real threat of someone dropping off, someone coming to feet. So if you're Ben Pierman, you're asking for a little bit more movement and unpredictability from the players in black.
Smith or Juan David Torres. Segbers. Rhode Island just continuing to disrupt Charleston. Looking for the ball through the middle. J.J. Williams, not that he's been quiet tonight, but he scored 5 of the 6 goals so far coming in for Rhode Island in these playoffs. Busan receives it out wide. Now his service coming in. Ibarra made that forward run. Charleston looking for a way out. Malloy, Segbers. That pressure again giving the battery fits. Torres fouled. Rhode Island coming in as the 5 seed into these playoffs. Probably look back in terms of runs to a final. You got to put this one right up there. On the road at Indy 11. You go on the road to the Players' Shield winners in Louisville City, one of the best teams the championship has ever seen. And then it's the second best team in the entire league in Rhode Island, taking on Charleston tonight. And right now, they're about a half hour away.
Whatever Connell Smith has been able to relate to these boys really struck a chord. Talk about the playoff system. Momentum is a crazy thing, and we're seeing it with Rhode Island. What a fantastic run they've done. Job not done yet. You know Charleston Battery is going to continue to fight back with the quality and the talent that Ben Pierman has at his disposal. On set pieces, you cannot afford to continue to give Charleston Battery attacking opportunities. Careful already on a yellow card. He needs to be careful.
That's what Charleston was asking for, was a yellow card. It won't come.
Just comes through the backside of Arturo Rodriguez. No real need. You have Ibarra, you have Hughes on there to help.
Set piece opportunity for Charleston, trying to cut into this deficit. Torres delivers. Charleston able to keep it. Marcanic was offside. If the Battery win tonight, and that is a big if at this point, they'll be hosting the USL Championship final right here at Patriots Point for the 2nd year in a row. Kickoff for that final will be at 12 noon next Saturday, and tickets will be available via SeatGeek, the Battery's exclusive ticketing provider, following the match here tonight. They have a lot of work to do to get back into this game and to put those tickets on sale. Otherwise, Rhode Island will be heading west. Not that you need any more inspiration or encouragement to go on and win a conference final, but you look at the game tonight between Switchbacks and Las Vegas Lights, and you say, if we win this game, we're hosting the final.
100%. That's exactly what Ben Pierman would like. How good and how dominant this Charleston Battery side has been at home. 13 wins in 2024.
Another set piece on the way for Charleston.
Hey, I'm aware, man.
really important here for Aaron Malloy or Juan David Torres to beat out that first man, and that's going to be Mark Ibarra sitting right on top of that 18-yard box. You get the ball over his head. Now you can really test Roque Vegas in his decision-making.
Torres, he's going for goal! The second week in a row with set-piece magic for the Charleston Battery!
Everyone thinks this ball's gonna be whipped in so someone to run onto it. The confidence from Juan David Torres, you see the English, the way that he closes up his hips at the last second. Bends over Roque Vegas, kisses that crossbar. What a strike. Game on here in Charleston.
They rush the ball back to the center circle and get it going again. The season of Juan David Torres continues. What a moment there for the Battery. That dazzling play brought to you by Diamonds Direct. It is the 8th goal of the season for Juan David Torres. And Malloy last week from a set piece wins the game. And now Torres here getting Charleston back into it. But another long throw and now coming for Clay Holstead. Launches it in, the header away. Torres trying to help it out. Stoneman lofts it forward once more. And Charleston could be out again. Here come the Battery. Move down the line. And here's Arturo Rodriguez. Have to be playing with a little bit more confidence now, do Charleston. The crowd on their feet here at Patriots Point.
Just mentioned the importance of momentum in playoffs. Now it's with the Charleston Battery. Next 5 minutes. Extremely important for Ben Pierman's side. Continue to move the ball, continue to win set pieces.
So much of the attention has been about Nick Marcanic and MD Myers, and for good reason, but Juan David Torres, he's really come on as this season has progressed. A player that, when he showed up, and we'll get to that in a second. Here's Charleston again, trying to make something happen. The cross coming in. Marcanic tries to keep it alive. The header away by Fuson. Now Aaron Malloy, he can hit from distance, and he will, but it's out of play. Juan David Torres, when he showed up to Charleston, Ben Pierman originally denied him of having a tryout and training with the team. Showed up again, still said no. Eventually, he gets on the fields, and you can see what happens. 2 subs coming for, or pardon me, just 1 sub coming. Aaron Malloy had run over, but it is the re-entrance of Leland Archer. His last appearance coming on October 19th against Rhode Island. He was injured in training in the lead up to the playoffs. He's been out with a lower leg injury, but he comes on here for his first appearance in about a month. And he comes on to replace Nate Dos Santos. So that center back partnership that we saw throughout the season, Archer and Smith, is reunited.
Talk about tactically what it's going to do. Watch out here.
Turned over, J.J. Williams, he's done all the goal scoring. J.J. Williams blocked. And Leland Archer making his presence felt immediately.
I think J.J. Williams just takes a tad bit long to make a decision. But as he recovers himself, does quite well to chop both Graham Smith and Leland Archer. But look at the recovery from the center back. Leaves his feet at the last second to make himself big. He needs to get it right and does just that. Flawless 1v1 defending.
A corner kick for Rhode Island and Mark Ibarra. Ibarra, the in-swinging ball, flicked across the face of goal and headed away. Torres couldn't control that first touch. Rhode Island keeps it. Fuson in for Ibarra. Ibarra gets end line. Ibarra cuts it back, and it's just wide. What a chance for the center back, Khalifa Yao.
Fantastic action from Rhode Island. I don't know if you saw, brings both players. Is lost in translation. Mark Ibarra catches Aaron Malloy flat-footed. Khalifa Yao, you just need to overrun it at this point in time. Get your hips squared to the goal, and yet again, Leland Archer not missing a beat since coming on. Talk about the tactical, what he does and what he brings you, a big physical center back, but also emotionally, Josh, right? The captain of this side, you saw Aaron Malloy run over to the sideline and quickly give him the captain's armband. So now you continue to ride that momentum. If you are Charleston Battery, watch out off the ball.
Yeah, stoppage in play at midfield and some pushing and shoving. It was Juan David Torres and I believe Albert Diqua getting tangled up at midfield.
So when you need clear heads to prevail, there's a little bit of that right arm right there from Juan David Torres. Initially, not a lot in that, just trying to protect himself. Get a better look at it here. It's once that ball is gone, I think, that he extended, catches Albert Diqua. The reigning MVP does not take kindly to it. But if you're Ben Pierman, if you're Connor Smith, you're leaning on leadership now and experience. Players that have been in pressurized situations that know you cannot let emotions get the best of you.
Juan David Torres, first goal of the playoffs, and I mean, this is something special.
Just magic. Eyes up the whole way, so he tries to catch Koke Vegas off of his line, just needs about a yard. Perfection, the way that he strikes it, and the placement to kiss it underneath the crossbar. How good has he been for the Charleston Battery this season? Top class.
Here's Albert Diqua trying to turn the corner. Big challenge put in by Segbers. Diqua's cross. Headed away as far as Fuson, who puts it right back in the middle. JJ Williams lurking. Rodriguez gets it out. Torres. Now Frank Nodarce moves it down the line. Cross floated up. It's too far for Williams. Diqua keeps it alive. Albert Diqua lets it run through. Here's Holstead. Holstead, a yellow card is coming for Rhode Island's Clay Holstead.
Fantastic recovery from Arturo Rodriguez, top of your screen, about 20 yards behind the ball. But as this ball rotates back across, look who puts some pressure on Holstead. Rodriguez, doing the dirty side of the game, draws the foul, recovers the ball, and gets Clay Holstead into the book.
Into the corner, it runs out of play. One back in the middle. Torres moves it ahead. It's laid off. Nick Marcanic! What a chance there for Charleston. And Marcanic is down, holding that left ankle.
Just a relationship between MD Myers and Nick Marcanic. 44 goals between the two of them. Eyes behind the back of his head because he knows that Yao's coming with him. So there's space around the corner. Nick Marcanic unable to get a clean contact on it. But those are the types of movements and the actions that you need if you're Ben Pierman. You want someone testing, running in behind, and someone coming underneath. Something we haven't seen much from Charleston Battery.
20 minutes to go in this Eastern Conference final. Things have sure heated up in this second half. First goal in the first half from Rhode Island's. And now looking for a third to restore that 2-goal advantage. It's Holstead right at Grinwis.
Better defending here from Mark Segbers. Engages with Noah Fuson a lot higher, so that affords Juan David Torres to double down. Something he didn't do on Noah Fuson's goal. Continue to backtrack, continue to drop off. That just plays into the hands of the attacker.
Back for Koke Vegas, who's under pressure from MD Myers. Ikaza and Malloy. Rolling it forward again. No whistle. It was right in front of the referee. Now J.J. Williams. Comes back through the middle. Off the mark. Segbers stepped in to break it up. Radisson points for a throw-in. Substitution on the way. Joe Brito will enter for Clay Holstead. One of a few midfielders on a yellow card. Holstead is out, which also means that long throw is also off the field for Rhode Island. That helped get them that first goal and nearly a second goal as well.
Brito a little bit more attack-minded than Holstead. So now you have Hervo and Ibarra almost going to play as a double pivot in front of your back line. And Joe Brito almost plays as a 10, so a little bit more of a pocket presence as well.
Tikwa went down again. More things happening away from the ball as Ikaza carries on. Torres. Charleston, Rhode Island meeting up on October 19th right here in Charleston. It was a 1-1 draw. Now Malloy rolling it forward. Williams trying to turn the corner on Graham Smith. Referee lets him play on again. As this comes infield, chipped forward. And there's Koke Vegas. And it's a foul. There was a bit of contact. MD Myers was making that run forward towards the Rhode Island goalkeeper.
MD Myers has every right to go for this ball until Koke Vega securely grabs it. Not a lot in that.
Referee made a point of his watch saying, yes, this will be added on at the end of the 90. This Rhode Island team trying to be, or they already are, trying to be the first expansion club to qualify for a conference final in its first year since 2019. That was El Paso. And they lost that conference final to Real Monarchs that year, who went on to eventually lose the final to Louisville City. Pardon me, they beat Louisville City in that final. Jack Blake helping lead that team. Louisville City won it in 2018. Rolled forward again. Ikaza Flicked ball, MD Myers couldn't get on the end of it. Looking for Albert Dikwa, some pressure here at the back. Graham Smith for Segbers. Flicked ahead, looking for JJ Williams. That's a high boot. It's a yellow card to Williams. Well, you feel the threshold for anything more than yellow has to be pretty high in a game and a stage like this. You also can't endanger the opponent.
Really brave as well from Graham Smith. He knows Leland Archer's beat, so he has to come across and provide some coverage. How high is that boot from JJ Williams? Studs are exposed. He catches Graham Smith on the head. Best luck we'll get here. It does pull off the last second.
Williams into the book. Here's Malloy and Torres. Torres weaving. Juan David Torres right at the goalkeeper, Koke Vegas.
Does all the hard work, Juan David Torres, to create a little bit of separation. No, if you saw not an out-and-out wing back. So you go at him and you test his defensive capabilities. But once he gets his ball on his right foot, now you have to get your foot wrapped around it to bend it away from Koke Vegas, lacking a little bit of quality in the end.
Move it ahead, Marcanic goes down. Those sorts of fouls have not been called tonight. The referee stays consistent, a throw-in for Charleston. Segbers, Torres, the flick intercepted by Ibarra. Comes Noah Fuson. This cross blocked by Leland Archer. Harivo. Rhode Island finding space out wide with Zach Harivo. Harivo darting in. A chance to cross. Williams nods it down. Space to try to hit this. It was deflected in front. Frank Nodarce had come forward.
Those are always difficult for an attacking player because you have to let the ball come down and drop at a certain height. That's when you can strike it. Leland Archer, Graham Smith do just enough at the last second to cut down the chance from Frank Nodarce. Talk about his evolution as well. For Arcano Smith, played at a center back role, now playing as a wing back, so a different type of profile needed from him. 6 goals, 1 assist on this season. Fantastic addition for Rhode Island.
Frank Nodarce, who came in on loan to the Charleston Battery in 2021 from, at the time, Fort Lauderdale CF, the Inter Miami setup in South Florida. Say next to a Fort Lauderdale legend right here.
Stop it.
Foul in the middle. Free kick Charleston, and a sub on the way for the Battery as well. It's the end of the night for Chris Allen. It will see Prince Sadie come onto the field, and this is a fun substitution as well because Prince Sadie There's not many of them out there. A former Rhode Island player. He came over earlier this season. He made 11 appearances with Rhode Island from the start of the season. Made the move here to Charleston. Now he gets to play against his former club in the final 10 minutes of this Eastern Conference final.
Completely different look now for the Charleston Battery. Seemed to go in a 3-back system, so now Sadie's going to play that left side in that wing-back role. Sadie's going to give you verticality, he's going to give you pace, and he's going to give you direct play.
Emilio Icaza finding space out wide for Nick Marcanic. 30 goals this year. Icaza, here's Malloy. Torres moves it forward. Now the return ball. He couldn't get back on the end of it. A foul, Icaza coming through the back. Free kick, Rhode Island. Substitution on the way as well.
But what I love about Juan David Torres is when he plays this ball, he continues his movement, and it's a nightmare to track. Just track his movement. Every player in a gold jersey gets caught ball watching. Zach Haribo is the only player that's on his toes that comes across and denies a clean strike on target.
JJ Williams, his night is over. Coming on is the Irishman, Mark Doyle. He's played his whole career in Ireland. So JJ Williams, who came in tonight 1 goal from tying the single postseason record of 6 goals set by Brandon Allen for New York Red Bulls 2 in 2016. We'll have to wait maybe 1 more week if Rhode Island progresses forward. Another throw into Rhode Island, who will be in no rush to get this back in play. Charleston hosting this Eastern Conference final for a 2nd straight season, with those Rhode Island fans still banging the drums up there in the corner. A foul will go Charleston's way here. 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Rodriguez swarmed by Rhode Island shirts. Noah Fuson. Here's Joe Brito. It's too early to take it to the corner. It's a throw in for Rhode Island. I guess every second is precious at this point. Dequa tripped, free kick Rhode Island. And the pushing continues.
It's a bit silly from Arturo Rodriguez. When the ball's so deep into the corner, you have to use the sideline and the end line as defenders. Continue to push him away from your goal, and no need to try to swipe this leg. Rodriguez is going to go down every single time, and he does just that.
Scooped forward, Dequa will see it run out of play. Goal kick for Charleston. These playoff kits that they are wearing as well are on sale now. They're courtesy of Hummel, the club's official jersey provider. You can check out the full line of new Battery gear, including customizable 2024 kits, by visiting shop.charlestonbattery.com. 5 minutes to go in this Eastern Conference final. Rhode Island will be the third side to reach the USL Championship final in their inaugural season. Sacramento won it in 2014. Sporting Kansas City, too, who won it in 2016. Oh, pardon me, they lost to New York Red Bulls, too. We already talked about that one. Floated forward again to the end line. That ball will run out for a Charleston throw. They go quickly. Torres comes in field. Akaza tried to return it, miscommunication, and cleared away. You can start to feel the tension now building here at Patriots Point with this sellout crowd, knowing that it could be over in a matter of about 10 minutes. No foul, carry on. Here's Mark Doyle for Rhode Island. Doyle just circling and taking more time, playing keep away. When the ground was Marcanic, and now a different foul. Really? Free kick, Rhode Island.
Great composure shown from Doyle. The opportunity to play this ball into Albert Deep was gone. So retaining possession becomes a priority. Ibarra beats Marcanic. Brito, really clever, puts himself between him, the ball, and Ikaza. Time gets off the clock, and now you have a really good opportunity yet again for Noah Fuson to test Grinwis from this distance.
Seen the power from Fuson tonight on his goal. And this one is too tall into the netting behind the goal. Goal kick for Charleston as they try to go quick.
Good touch.
Rodriguez, it was a good first touch. Could have done better on the second. Marcanic putting it back in play quickly. Ikaza lets it run through. Ikaza looks infield. That's Doyle tracking back to win it back for Rhode Island. Dequa could not keep that in play. Don't forget, the winner will face the winner of tonight's Western Conference Final, which kicks off in just a few minutes on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network. The next Saturday, the final on CBS at noon Eastern time. For Charleston tonight, just 13 touches in the opposition box. And you talk about the goal, it was a great goal to get them back in it. It was a set piece. They haven't really won a ton of set pieces, and they honestly haven't created a ton of chances aside from that set piece.
You just look at the actions in around that 18-yard box. The only thing that comes to mind was when MD Myers just heel flicked it into Nick Marcanic and he mishit it. And that's been kind of the story as we see Mark Doyle will go into the book for time wasting. For Ben Pierman's side, you're doing this extremely well, getting yourself into that final third, but it continues to be a little bit predictable, slow. Once you are in that final third, and against a side like Rhode Island that has found their identity, especially defensively.
Substitution coming for Rhode Island. It's Kofi Chumesi to enter for Zach Harivo. And this is the final sub of regulation for Rhode Island. They've used 3 subs in 3 windows. Floated forward. Charleston find a few more chances here at the end. Clearance away. Leland Archer will come to claim it. And let's see how much longer we're playing. It's 6 minutes more. The clearance away. And this stoppage time is presented by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. Scramble for this loose ball. And now right in front of the Charleston bench, Albert Dikwa getting tangled up with Emilio Icaza. And it continues. More players going down. Referee needs to get a hold of this situation. I've seen a few of these here tonight.
Starts with Albert Dikwa holding up play. Rodriguez really physical, and Icaza comes across, and it's the extra right here. Icaza pushes him, Dikwa pulls him down right in front of the bench. Especially if you're a Rhode Island player up a goal, there's no need to get involved in anything off of the ball. Connell Smith, the message to your side is to keep yourself onto this pitch, so you're available for selection next weekend.
Now Icaza and Dikwa getting yellow cards. 3 players that got the first yellow cards for Rhode Island, Williams, Holstead, and Haribo. Connell Smith all took off the field. And now 2 more players with yellow cards in Doyle and now Dikwa. Moved out wide. Now coming towards goal, big save. Joe Brito trying to keep the possession alive. He does. And you know what? He says, I'm going to the corner. Runs into the corner, out of play. It's a corner kick for Rhode Island. And just a little bit closer now. Touched in play. Rhode Island trying to keep it in that corner. Charleston looking for a way out, and a couple more players end up on the surface. Midway through the minimum of 6. We should get a little bit more just based on that coming together a few minutes ago. Charleston find a few more chances in this second half. Torres being hounded by Morris Duggan. Here's Icaza. And now moved out wide. Chance to cross. It was deflected as it came in. It's a foul, goes back the other way.
Phone call with Ben Pyramid ahead of this game. Like, extremely complimentary of Rhode Island, especially off the ball. Compact in their structure, but quickly applying pressure when the ball goes wide. No, if you saw in Frank Nodarce, how good have they been at closing down any sort of space and not give any free service for the Battery wide players.
Sent forward again, 2 players on the ground. Mark Doyle goes down, Albert Dikwa takes it into the corner. And a corner kick to Rhode Island. This is masterful in how to see out a game.
Start to see the experience, especially from Albert Dikwa. Every single time he gets on the ball, he's slowing the game down, inviting contact. And when he feels too much of it, he goes down.
Just touched into play. We asked Cano Smith this week about some perspective on what this team has done. He says, what we're doing is incredible. What we've done is already extraordinary, but he says, I don't really have time to look back on it now. We're just looking at the next game ahead. And in just a few minutes, he might have one more game to look forward to. Nearly turned over. Charleston streaming forward as the crowd comes to their feet at Patriots Point. Malloy floats it in. The heads go up. It's knotted in front and cleared away. Corner kick coming for Charleston. A Pepper Law Firm corner kick. Through the 6 minutes. There should be a little bit longer. Adam Grinwis has come forward as well. This is do or die for the Battery. In swinger, back post, batted away, and cleared out to midfield. There's no goalkeeper there, so it's all Aaron Malloy here. Juan David Torres. Throw in for Charleston. They're going quickly. Ikaza. Torres floats it in. The header away. Leland Archer trying to keep it alive. Referee looks at his watch, content to let it go on. High lofted ball, Koke Vegas retreats. It's still loose, knotted centrally on the turn. Marcanic sends it airborne. Still bouncing around, header away. Can somebody get a shot towards goal? Smith nods it down, the clearance, and that is it! Rhode Island, in their inaugural season, are going to the USL Championship final. The dream lives for Rhode Island FC. The third team to reach the final in their inaugural season. A third straight road win in these playoffs. And if Rhode Island want to win it again next week, they'll be going on the road to do it again.
Grit, personality, courage, togetherness. Exactly what Cano Smith wanted, exactly what he's gotten from this side. Staying true to their personality, fighting for one another. Not easy to go on the road once, twice, but to come into Patriots Point against a Charleston Battery side that has been high-flying. Hats off to Rhode Island.
Nick Marcanic being consoled by club president Lee Cohen. Remember, for Nick Marcanic, this is his last game with the Charleston Battery because he is moving on to Castellón in Spain. That move was announced a few months ago. An obvious emotion coming from the record goal scorer. Tonight, it is all about Cano Smith's Rhode Island FC. We'll take a break and we'll come back with the trophy presentation to the Eastern Conference champions. What an Eastern Conference final it was. The full-time score presented by Wicked Weed Brewing. Charleston 1, Rhode Island 2.
Turn to the field. Score the winning shot. Beat your personal record. Team up with MUSC Health Sports Medicine for all your sports-related injury care and rehabilitation. MUSC Health is the official sports medicine provider for your favorite local teams. From semi-pro athletes to weekend warriors, our sports medicine team provides state-of-the-art injury prevention, treatment, surgery, and rehabilitation for athletes of all ages. Go where the pros go. Schedule an appointment today.
When you know that you're finally home, and that long stretch of road falls behind
Hola.
¿Alguna otra cerveza?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Ok, ahora vuelvo.
Back at Patriots Point in Charleston, Rhode Island is off to the USL Championship final next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern on CBS. The traveling support they've been to make it to the final.
Can't say they deserve it. You have to say they deserve it. To go into the 11 to blank Lou City, and I think that is what really galvanized the troops underneath Connor Smith to get a clean sheet, to score 3, and you saw the confidence come here at Patriots Point. Fantastic run for Connor Smith.
Now, Rhode Island, they will receive the trophy tonight as Eastern Conference champions. Can't say enough about what Connor Smith has done with this team. Jeremy Allenbaugh, the USL Championship president, will eventually award the hardware. There it is. Year 1. Do they even have a trophy case built yet?
Better.
They better. Yeah, they might have. They're gonna have this piece. They might have one more. I'll hand it to the captain, Koke Vegas. Rhode Island FC, Eastern Conference champions in year 1. The celebration will continue. They'll take it over to their supporters on the far side. J.J. Williams, who's done so much of the goal scoring, will lead his team over. If you're Rhode Island, how much do you celebrate this tonight before you got to move on?
You celebrate tonight, and then for Connor Smith and company, it's back to the drawing board. You're watching this Las Vegas, Colorado Springs game, trying to take as much as you can out of that game. Legs underneath your recovery, but you have to take a minute to enjoy the hard work and reward yourself. Fantastic run to crown yourself kings of the Eastern Conference.
Rhode Island FC, the 3rd team to reach the USL Championship final in their inaugural season. It was Sacramento Republic who took down Los Dos in 2014, and then it was Sporting Kansas City who lost to New York Red Bulls 2 in 2016. But there is precedent for a team winning it in their first season, and that's what Rhode Island will try to do next week when they head west. Our full-time highlights tonight, they are brought to you by Michelob Ultra. And we show you the goals. The first one off a long throw-in. Karifi Yao with the flick, Zach Haribo with the finish.
Still think that Zach Haribo drifts into an offside position off of Nathan Santos. The referee doesn't call it. The goal stands off to the corner to celebrate. Rhode Island draw first blood here in Patriots Point, and now we walk into the second half. Fantastic work here from Clay Holstead. The ability to drive with the ball at his feet, but also to make the right decision at the right time. We talk about defending 1v1. Mark Segres needs to engage. He continues to back off, and that's about 9 yards out. I don't know if you saw it. He's dictating tempo, the attacking player. Sets him up, slows him down, gets it on his preferred left foot, but what a strike that is. Roofs it, no chance for Grinwis, but you knew, Josh, that Charleston battery will not go down without a fight. Someone was going to produce a little bit of individual brilliance and magic, but Juan David Torres, you're not going to hit a ball better than that. Catches Koke Vegas a yard off his line, and that's all he needs, but yet it was not enough. Rhode Island see the game out, they dig down deep, and they book themselves a place in the USL Championship final.
The full-time stats are presented by Heineken. A lot of chances in this game for Rhode Island. Charleston, they scored second most goals in the league this year. And just not enough chances tonight.
The possession is what stands out to me for Charleston Battery. 66% of it, they were on the ball, but not creating anything through the run of play. 3 shots on target. But for Connell Smith, you had the ball 34% of the time, and you had the ability to suffer. I think that was going to be the difference, the ability to dig down and close down space on the defensive side of the ball. And now you allowed your players higher up the field to be those game changers, and now you have a chance to play for a second trophy next week.
And that will do it for our coverage tonight from Patriots Point in Charleston. What an Eastern Conference final this turned out to be. The Battery are looking for back-to-back appearances in the championship final, but this year it's Rhode Island in their inaugural season as Eastern Conference champions. For our entire crew and broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Charleston. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.